Namaskar. Welcome to this Swayam course of Smart Cities Development and Management by IGNOU, School of Engineering and Technology. We understand that urban and regional planning is the basis of making a city smart, and for this purpose, various policies and acts are required. My name is Meenakshi Tyagi. Together with several colleagues, we have prepared this course. Through this video lecture, I will briefly present some of the eminent public policies and acts which are relevant for this course. The presentation structure has Smart City Framework, Smart City Regulatory Framework, Governance, Public Policies, Policy Principles for Smart Cities, Policies and Acts, Transportation Policies. What is Smart City and where to start? There will be many interpretations of a Smart City framework. A good framework should include government, private sector, academic and NGOs to make stakeholder work easy in developing and implementing smart city strategies. By adopting such frameworks, stakeholders can move their ideas from mere vision to action. There are roles of government, private sector, academics, and NGOs. The Smart City Protocol is a step in the right direction in bringing multiple groups together to establish common language for smart cities. The government should work more closely with the private sector to educate them on stakeholder roles and in particular how policies and business models are necessary for implementing smart solutions. Private sector needs to focus in developing processes to enable open and collaborative innovation with NGOs, clients, academicians to ensure solutions that are both economically and functionally feasible. NGOs and academicians have to spend more time on answering how rather than why by following the above mentioned steps. Smart city stakeholders can work towards establishing a common set of standards and a comprehensive framework for implementing smart city solutions. Smart city framework is a methodology or design that facilitates both the public and private sectors to effectively plan and implement the smart city strategies. Cities adopting smart city policies undergo this stage in an intuitive way without a proper structure and action plan. A well-structured framework not only enables efficiency but also transparency and clarity into how cities work. The officials and leaders of city define and initiate the actions based on the city objective. For this reason, the smart city framework starts with the city objectives based on which all initiatives are measured. The flow of information in the smart city framework is circular, which results in feedback loop. This enables the stakeholder to know the best practices of smart city initiatives of other cities. Stage 1, Objectives and Purpose of City. To understand how a city operates, a framework must ultimately link the city's objectives, that is the pillars, to project policies and initiatives. Stage 2, Indicators of the city. As known that city objectives are high level and somewhat transient, it is important to connect them to city indicators, which measure and benchmark cities using defined and specific methodologies. A different set of indicators may be required for different cities. Smart city, if the smart city objective is sustainability, resilience, well-being, etc., then the dimension can be energy, climate, biodiversity, material footprint, health, social, and institutions, jobs, income, housing, access to service, education, political participant, health, environment, personal safety, etc. And the indicator may be energy consumption per capita, electricity production from renewable resources, that is in percentage, or the CO2 equivalent per gigawatt hours, change in tree cover, municipal waste rate, etc. Stage 3, Elements of City. This stage of framework describes the physical elements of a city, namely transportation, real estate, utilities, and services, which are then connected to city objectives, indicators, and content. Each of these elements can be drilled down into subsections. Stakeholders' role in the stage 4, that is the city content, can be well defined. Stakeholder roles must be established prior to developing any smart city plan because these players have the most influence on city initiatives and operations. Need for a regulatory framework. A regulatory framework can be defined as the high level questions that a conscious regulator would ask of themselves throughout the process of regulations development. It is a model that people can use for reforming and enacting regulations in an effective and logical way. Many governments rely on such frameworks for handling regulatory matters and developing flexible and useful networks of regulations, laws, and rules. Need for a regulatory framework. The Smart Cities mission is one of the most impressive programs in the recent years. To execute its objectives, the government should introduce the Smart Cities guidelines. These guidelines act as an ample policy document that defines smart cities as cities that interconnect citizens, data, devices, and objects to a centralized network infrastructure which will be utilized for urban planning, social and economic development of the city and its citizens. Smart cities will rely on information communication infrastructure and data for its service delivery mechanism, whereas the guidelines provided for a clear strategy on the implementation of the Smart City mission, both at the state and city level. It is completely silent on the legal framework required thereof. Though the governments introduced various draft policies for the smooth transition into smart cities, these are yet to be implemented into laws that can govern the mission. Governance inputs. In general, governance can be defined as regimes of laws, administrative rules, judicial rulings, and practices that constrain, prescribe, and enable government actively. Where such activity is broadly defined as the production and delivery of publicly supported goods and services, governance hence involves the implementation of processes with constituents who exchange information according to rules and standards in order to achieve goals and objectives. E-governance. Electronic governance or e-governance is an integration of information and communication technology (ICT) in all the processes with the aim of improving government ability to address the requirements of the general public. The basic function of e-governance is to shorten processes for all, that is, government, businesses, citizens, etc., at national, state, and local levels. In simple terms, it is the use of electronic means to endorse good governance. It includes the publishing of policy and program related information to transact with citizens. It extends beyond provision of an online services and covers the use of IT for strategic planning and reaching development goals of the government. Through e-governments, government services are made available to citizens in a convenient, efficient, and transparent manner. Smart governance. Smart governance is an advanced form of e-governance. It is the capacity of employing intelligent and adaptive acts and activities of looking after and making decisions about something. In simple terms, it is about making the right policy choices and the implementation of the same. It widely represents the collection of technologies, policies, people, resources, practices, social norms, and information that interact to support smart city governing activities. There are various elements involved in smart governance. For example, access to information, public utilities and services, democratic participation, women participation, smart policing and crime control, urban planning support, grievance management, information security and risk management, etc. Role of smart city in governance. The smart city concept is linked with other concepts such as digital city, intelligent city, information city, and knowledge city. There may be differences in terms of words, but all these concepts majorly rely on the use of ICTs. A smart city enables the government in understanding, monitoring, analyzing, and planning the city in order to enhance quality of life of its residents. In the framework of smart city, e-governance or electronic governance acts as a tool through which the processes, principles and practices of the government can be improved. Good governance may also refer to the use of new medium of communication for smart city residents, for example, e-democracy or e-governance. Smart governance consists of aspects related to services for citizens, political participation, and the functioning of administration. Further, ICTs play a prominent role not only in improving the efficiency and transparency of the government, but also helps in facilitating the democratic parties by enhancing the collaboration between citizens and government. The public policies are objective and goal oriented. These are defined and implemented in order to attain the objectives which the government has framed for ultimate advantage of the community. These policies clearly specify the government programs. Public policy is the result of government's combined effort. It means that it is a course of activity of the governmental officials in a collective sense than being termed as their discrete and segregated decisions. Public policy is what the government actually decides, agrees, and chooses to do. It is the association of the government units to the definite field of political environment in a given administrative system. It can take a variety of forms like ordinances, law, court decisions, executive orders, decisions, etc. Public policies depict the concern of the government and engages its action to a particular problem on which the policy is made. It has the sanction of law, authority behind it, and on the other hand, it involves decisions by the governmental officials regarding what not taking any action on a particular issue. Public policy making and few characteristics. Public policy making is a complex process. It is a dynamic process. It includes various components. It is formulated by government bodies and authorities. It involves stakeholders. The decision making and results are always in action. Lays down major guidelines directed at the future. Types of public policies. There are various types. Some of them are substantive, regulatory, distributive, redistributive, and capitalization. Policy principles for smart cities. The first policy principle is to involve stakeholders. Private and public partnerships need to include stakeholders to plan, improve workability, sustainability, livability across a wide range of communities. The second principle is to devote in digital infrastructure and latest technologies. With some billion numbers of devices to connect to internet in the future, huge broadband networks are essential to realize the importance of smart cities across various sectors with government, industries, and transportation. Planned and effective management will encompass technologies to enable the differences in communication and connectivity requirements for smart city services and products. For example, cities should enable 5G technology and update accordingly to ease installation of broadband infrastructure. Third policy principle is encourage investment and innovation. Policies should be framed that encourages innovation and investment by collaborating with different industries, academia, governments, and R&D cells to adopt smart cities rules and regulations. The fourth principle is enable connectivity. The different systems and devices should be connected to internet and communicate each other to enhance efficiency of smart cities. To allow broad and scalable implementation of smart cities technologies and avoid non-repeatable, concern should be made on usage of open standards as documented by globally relevant standards setting organizations and ease of connectivity and interoperability of systems, platforms, software, and infrastructure. The fifth principle for smart city policy should be integrate privacy and security. By using various engineering methods and technologies, Privacy and security should be designed into smart city systems by utilizing best privacy by design as well as secure development practices. The applications must be inbuilt in a way that evokes trust upon privacy and security. Sixth principle is encourage open participation. The private sector should direct the development of open standards that facilitate interoperability and associate with the public sector to support the distribution of standards and best practices. World-class standards can improve adoption, drive competition, enable the cost-effective introduction of new technologies, and give plug-and-play interoperability to generate a path to cost-effective upgrades. The seventh principle is envision smart cities as essential to future sustainability. For future sustainability and growth, the policies and programs need to recognize the importance of smart cities. For example, consider a transportation system which is more efficient, less costly, and more environmental friendly. This is because of innovations introduced in intelligent transportation systems, that is ITS, and information and communication technologies, ICT. The energy efficiency can be improved by implementing smart energy management systems. By using big data, cities will be able to respond to an occurrence of an event such as prediction of weather efficiently and faster. Smart cities should be capable to monitor the traffic flow, shift power to high demand areas, and signal a reduction in non-essential energy consumption during times when energy use is high. The eighth principle should be encourage transparency and accountability. The policies developed should promote and encourage the use of smart technologies to monitor and measure the government progress and indicate the performance level to the public. In order to build new services and solutions to benefit the citizens, smart cities should promote public access of government data. Policies and acts. The following are the few policies and acts connected to smart cities: the Information Technology Act, E-Governance Act, Right to Privacy Act, Internet of Things IoT Policy, National Cyber Security Policy 2013, and Drone Policy. The Information Technology Act, known as IT Act, is an act of Indian Parliament. The Information Technology Act directs the purview of Internet activities in India. The act was developed and implemented to administer legal concession to e-transactions, validate digital contracts, and regulate online services. The smart city development will include various components dealing with software designs, network, and manufacturing of devices. E-Governance Act. The Act recognizes e-governance by providing legal sanctity to digital signatures, electronic service delivery, and retention of electronic records. Sharing and exchanging of information between government and private parties will be at the core of the mission. Right to Privacy Act. Right to privacy is a constitutional right, yet the Act is incomplete as the provisions are confined to the protection of personal data under the information technology rules. These rules regulate private entities and exclude the government from its ambit. The Act and rules define personal information as information relating to a natural person and excludes real-time data, that is, data collected and processed by different applications to relay information without any delay in timelines. Policies and acts continued. Internet of Things, that is IoT policy. The objective of IoT policy is to undertake capacity development for IoT specific skill set for domestic and international markets. The goal is to develop IoT products specific to Indian needs in the domain of agriculture, health, water quality, natural disasters, transportation, security, automobile, supply chain management, smart cities, automated metering, and monitoring of utilities, waste management, oil and gas, etc. The policy framework of the IoT policy has been proposed to be implemented via a multi-pillar approach. National Cyber Security Policy 2013. To fill the present gaps of laws to deal with cyber crimes, the government has introduced the National Cyber Security Policy NCSP 2013, which perceives cyberspace as a crucial sector and aims to build security methods and mechanisms at sectoral and national level. The policy recommends formation of a National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Center, that is NCIIPC, which is responsible for advocating security practices related to acquisition, design, development and use of information. A nodal center agency to coordinate all matters concerned with cybersecurity, to identify and appoint a Chief Information Security Officer to lead the internal security measures in organizations, encouragement of partnership between the private sector and government to improve open standard for certified IT products, joint development of a cybersecurity framework with other countries that recognizes the applicability of international law and the UN Charter. Drone policy. The Ministry of Civil Aviation MOCA updated drone rules and policies 2021 for public consultation. According to the drafted drone rules 2021, operating drones without unique identification number will not be approved unless exempted. Drone operators will have to produce a unique identification number of a drone by providing requisite details on the Digital Sky platform. Digital Sky platform is an initiative by MOCA to provide a secure and a scalable platform that supports drone technology frameworks such as NPNT, no permission, no takeoff, designed to enable flight permissions digitally and managing unmanned aircraft's operations and traffic efficiently. Now, there are some transport policies. The first one is, in the sphere of road infrastructure, government will endeavor to augment road capacity by promoting corridor management plan, wayside amenities, parking spaces, etc. Government will strive to strengthen road maintenance activities through pavement management system and bridge management system for proper upkeep of road network. The government will take steps to strengthen public road transport to facilitate access to essential socio-economic services and provide affordable mobility, passenger road connectivity to semi-urban and urban areas and the rural areas, providing affordable mobility to people who do not have access to personalized mode and reside in rural or remote areas in an important objective of the government. Government will facilitate setting up independent road transport regulator at state level with following functions in the view of the liberalization and deregulation across various sectors of Indian economy. Government will facilitate smooth and seamless flow of freight movement by road across states and union territories so as to foster single barrier-free domestic market. The government will spell out the institutional responsibilities of stakeholders and measures to promote road safety, traffic management and post-accident care. Government will cater a policy framework to foster sustainable road transport which is efficient in terms of resource use, that is fuel, road space, etc., puts less strain on environment and affordable for all. Government will also promote R&D, that is research and development in transport sector. Government will make concerned efforts to curb the menace of vehicular overloading. By this, we end this unit. Thank you.